Individuals and businesses accessing useful and affordable financial products and services that meet their needs is financial inclusion. Cleopatra Kenyanyuzi, a software engineer and facilitator at the Women in Fintech Hackathon Season 2, advises how low-income earners and the marginalized can make the best use of their money.
The poor and marginalized, can look at uptake of financial digital services that are being provided, and we look at services that actually run on platforms that they can afford, right? Like, for example, the basic feature phones. If you look at Uganda, the price for a feature phone is like around like 30,000. So the price is really quite relative. So if somebody has access from like the mentioned groups, has access to like a tool like that, like a phone that can help them access some of the wonderful systems that developers creating for them, then they can start engaging and interacting with the different services there. They can be able to apply for loans. They can be able to save their money. We have, for example, MTN's More Cash, right? And then I also know about Airtel's Wewole, where you can get a loan. I think MTN also provides loan services, right? So not just looking at the telecos, but we have other digital financial service providers that are actually going out there and are creating platforms that are trying to get everybody involved.
For financial inclusion to be affordable for everyone, service providers should minimize the costs.
Financial inclusion, first of all, we have to provide services that are affordable, okay? Affordable, if the target market is like upscale, then they'll definitely afford high-end products. But that doesn't mean that you should create low substandard products for people from low-income status. You also have to find a way of tailoring the products to meet their needs, Still provide them with the financial services, but at a rate they can afford. And then also inform them, make them aware. Like, it's also of core importance for the digital financial service providers to be transparent enough to their target groups, especially the low-income earners, the poor and the marginalized group, right? They have to educate them, create awareness about their products.
Hi People advocates for affordable and transparent financial inclusion.
Hi People is keen to promote adoption of secure digital financial services because of their vital role in promoting financial inclusion. For us, financial inclusion starts at making sure, one, innovations in the financial space are digitized, they are affordable, they are seamless, but above all, they are secure. Because we need to be sure that the users of these services have confidence in using the systems and are aware that their money and their transactions are kept in a manner that they most want it to be treated. Yeah. The other is ensuring that in the end, digital financial services deliver value of what ideally fiat currency would deliver for everyone. I am paying something for 10,000 shillings using mobile money. It shouldn't be more expensive for me than paying for it using cash. Yeah. So we are advocating for ensuring, one, government, the regulators, the other players like donors and funders, the non-government organizations, the mobile money service providers, the banking service providers, and the entire DFSP space come together in one, creating interoperable payment switches and schemes. By this, it means that we are collaborating in creating the rails and the rules of the technology. So we're not spending so much in creating so many silos and nodes of different installations, all serving the same purpose. So as long as we're able to save from a point of investing in technology, building the rails and the rules, then it becomes very easy for us to have financial services delivered to the end consumer in an affordable manner. We are believers and are builders of an economy that includes and benefits everyone.
While mentoring teams, Damali Sali, founder and author Ideation Corner, advised participants to invest time in research and use of internet, for it will help them understand and expand the market as well as knowing their product solutions competitors.
Let me see. Getting an idea onto the market without reinventing the wheel. I think what you probably would need to do is to do a lot of research. So you see how all of you, I was asking you about the solutions that you are providing, and some snippets of it I've had before, because I'm not a fintech person, I'm not a programmer, but I know generally what's on the market. That's why I was asking you those questions. So you need to make sure that whatever solution you're developing is not replicating something that already exists. So imagine you spend all this time trying to develop something, and it's taking you a lot of time to develop it. You spend a year, in there, and then only to get to the market and find that actually there is another solution on the market that's been running for the last 4 years. So you need to do quite a lot of research. The way to do it is to be involved in your spaces. So don't isolate yourself. Make sure that you're online. That's important. You have to be online. And when you go online, you consume content that builds your mind, not content that just basically degrades your mind. You also join groups that are Ugandan minded and they're fintech minded, and therefore they talk about what's happening in the fintech space. That's how you get to know what's happening in the fintech space. That's how you get to know that actually, whatever thing I'm developing, someone did it before, but how can I innovate with mine to do it better than them? Because once you're in that space, then you know what's going on. It could also improve. So you may find that because you're in the space, you find out, or maybe Easy Agri, a lot of you are doing agriculture stuff. So as you're developing your agriculture products, you find out Easy Agri is a solution that's been on the market for 3-4 years, and they're doing a little bit of the value chain that you're targeting. Shouldn't stop you from also doing your own, because it just because they're already on the market doesn't mean they've taken the whole market. There's a lot of need in agriculture, but you have to know what's happening in your space. The way to know is to connect and I know, of course, physical connection is very expensive, but the beauty about the internet is it's made connection very, very simple. You just need to make sure that when you use your time, you're using it on the internet, you're using it to also develop your mind, not just to consume, entertainment.
Participants continue to explore progress of the Level 1 principles according to George Kasacha, a facilitator.
That most of the biggest part of the population hasn't been included. Why? They haven't been given an opportunity to use technology, mainly the smart technology. So with Level 1, because it gives us what we are supposed to follow, now we are able to include even the least person down there in the village using our Butochi phones other than smartphones. So good enough with the ladies here, they're showing progress. I love the progress. You just imagine someone who calls you at 2 a.m. to ask a question. And they're like, yes, we need to have this done by morning. To the extent that some of these ladies want to install modulo, a whole national switch onto their computer. And they are fighting day in, day out to install it. And we are very, very pleased to know that now there are ladies who can risk to have a national switch onto a very simple machine. It shows that they are willing.
It has been day 5 of the hackathon.
My name is Najma Diana. I'm the team lead, GrowBiz. Our application is a mobile application that supports both Android and iOS. It bridges the gap between investors and people looking for loans. Our target audience, the people looking for loans, are small and medium enterprises, people in areas like Chikubo, downtown, and anyone. Could be someone looking for seed capital or working capital. Then our target investors are big organizations like banks, SACCOs, things like Pride Microfinance, those ones that are looking to invest their capital or their income. So we get a percentage from the interest that people who have borrowed return. Then we give to the people who have invested, and we also chop a percentage for ourselves to run the business. Today I've learned the importance of teamwork. We're supposed to present our MVP, but we're not ready. We had a few things that were still missing in our APK, but we've been able to at least finish up things like authentication, things like depositing and withdraw. Those are the main features of our application, and I'm glad we've accomplished that.
My name is Bridget Akankunda, and as you can see, I'm part of Care for Her team, which is providing solutions for low-income women to access medical care through a health savings scheme. it will have a big impact on low-income communities. You save with us, and we're partnering with a few hospitals to help women access medical care, especially pregnant women, access antenatal services, and then there is also an option for free information, reproductive health, antenatal, self-care, yeah. And today was actually a big take home because of the financial inclusion, the digital financial inclusion, which is a topic I've been interested in for a while. And Clio kind of shedded more light on how to make our application inclusive of everyone in the community, people with disabilities, refugees, generally the whole community. And yeah, we learned a lot today, and we are hoping to incorporate that in the application.
Eunice Namugenyi, the team lead of Kuzimba Services. What is Kuzimba? Kuzimba is an online web platform that provides access to different building materials, but as well give you access to professional building services. For example, the painter, the architect, the surveyor, and all these people. So if we are to include all these people onto one team, we have to develop an e-payment system that will make cash flow easy for people to make transactions. Like if a buyer purchases a material, they can click on any item that they want on the site. Then of course their cart keeps on developing, and then they can also ask for any service provider that they need.
My name is Nakaiza Shami. My team is Tegeka. We are working on a circle. My team is Tegeka. We are solving a problem of, we identified a problem of circles that are collapsing. Some are struggling. Those that are surviving are still struggling with problems like fraud, poor governance, people run away with money, and many others. So the reason as to why we came up with Tegeka Investment Club is to solve the circle problems. Yeah. So one of the things we identified was that at many workplaces, people come up with their circles. In families, people come up with their circles, but then they end up collapsing. People end up running away with money. Some leaders don't have the good leadership skills. So we are here to address some of those problems. What I have learned today is I have learned how to design an ER diagram. I also sometime back learned how to draw a mind map that gives you the high level overview of your system. And the major thing that I've noticed about this hackathon is that they have taught me how to plan before coding.
The Women in Fintech Hackathon is sponsored by High People under its Include Everyone program in partnership with Crosslake Take, Moduloop, Modusbox, and the Level 1 project. Rita Cabanyero, Smart 24.